here with two interviews today. Not on the same, not on the same, not on the same show, but I got one right now and one coming up at 7 o'clock, and I actually got a third one tomorrow. So today's guest is Zion Graham from St. Vincent Pallotti out of Maryland, cornerback prospect, 2026 prospect. He'll be joining me today at 6. So he's actually in what I would call the green room. So just waiting for him to uh, log in and we get this going. So I appreciate anybody checking this out. The replay will also be on YouTube and on my streaming app. So I think I'm not sure what's going on in Maryland, but in Pennsylvania next week they're starting the heat acclimation process. So but I know a lot of little league football teams start practice this week. So and I know that because me and my boy Coach Zeke out of Harrisburg and Juwan Chisholm, we had a free, I would say, combine. Turned into a combine in Harrisburg on Sunday. Had a Radnor Park uptown. Um, Mostly like the little young bucks. Can't think of the ages, but we just tested them in the 10-yard dash, 20-yard dash, L drill, pro agility, and even had them do a jump test. Just to give them just a taste of what they'll probably be doing as far as going to camps and testing, and just also measuring their athleticism as well. So testing them on it. It's giving them a little taste. I should have a video. I should have videos up actually. I'll say by the weekend. I know I'll have the top performers and things like that. I'll have that posted. So if any of those parents or I ain't gonna say kids are probably at practice, but anybody that came on Sunday, that's what's going on with that. So like I said, just waiting for Zion. He in the room, so I'm sure he'll figure it out. I think. Hey, also while I'm at it, as the high school kids start to practice with their real teams, I'll switch up the format a little bit. I'll still talk to high school athletes during the season, but I do plan to incorporate talking to more coaches, and probably other members of the media as well. I'm not sure how I'm going to flip that. Maybe have a set schedule. But, I'm pretty flexible. So, but no, you're still going to get at least 2 to 3 shows per week. So definitely two. Definitely two. And if you haven't already, I do have a streaming app. It's called We Run the State, of course, and it's available on both Roku TV and Amazon Fire TV. So, let's go to the search on those apps. Search We Run the State, pull my app up, and you'll see a lot of videos. And you're definitely going to see the first, I would say 10. Yeah, so I think I've done about 10 right now. First 10 podcasts I've done as far as We Run the State goes. So that should be available. So my man Zion is on. So give us 1 second. Big dog, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. I can hear you. Can you hear me? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yep. And you don't have a phone or anything like that, right?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Okay. All right, because we already live, so I'm gonna make sure I say your name right. Is it
hmm
Zion or Zion?
Zion.
Zion. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. You already know how I do this. I'm gonna do a reintroduction. This is Ed O'Brien, and this is the We Run the State podcast. Back with 2 episodes tonight. But first, kind of pick this up real quick, but I'm appreciative that he's able to join us. It's a class of 2026 prospect out of Maryland, St.
Yes,
Vincent
sir.
Pallotti High School, to be exact. Recent Sacred Heart football commit,
Yes, sir.
Zion Graham.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us. How you feeling tonight?
I feel great. I feel good. I'm glad to be on here.
I appreciate you accepting the invitation, man. You know, I was on X and I saw that you recently committed. So I've been wanting to, to talk to, talk to kids in general, but definitely talk to those who recently committed and, find out more about them. I am
Mhm.
familiar with your high school. I didn't get it. I haven't I actually watched you guys, I think last year in the championship game
Yeah.
against, I think it was Archbishop Curley. So are you guys, so as far as team stuff right now, before we get into the interview, what are you guys doing right now?
We're currently on a 17-day break, and we report back to camp August 4th.
August 4th. Okay. And when is your first game?
Our first game is August 22nd in Chattanooga, Tennessee, against Boyd Buchanan.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I see you representing with the Sacred Heart gear. Um,
Right.
First question, when did you when did you get your offer from Sacred Heart?
I got my offer May 24th, I think. Either 22nd or 24th, one of those days. But I got it, towards the end of May.
Okay. When did you take an official visit?
They don't do official visits like during the summertime, but they do all their official visits during the winter. So I have that all set up after the season.
Okay. Hey, did you camp there at some point?
Yeah, I camped there so that way, they got a chance to get me on campus and to look around, tour and everything like that. So I went up to camp June 20th, went to
Okay.
camp, performed, and then they took the guys that, they liked and who they wanted or whatever, or the guys already had offers. They took the tour around the campus and everything like that. So, and then they had like everybody talked to the coaches and stuff afterwards.
And what are some things that they told you as far as what they liked about you as a prospect at that time?
Well, first, the coach that recruited our area, he had talked to me and a couple guys, and he felt like we were all like potential prospects, to play for their program. And I've been in contact with my position coach since the spring, and he's always like, been watching my film, trying to keep up with me, keep up with my position coach. He said he liked my fluidity, how I move my hips, change of direction, agile speed and everything like that, and how coachable I am as well. So he's just been in touch with me ever since, and he feels like I could produce and be a guy and a factor in their system. So that's what they told me.
And I apologize. What was the name? What's the name of your main recruiter or your position coach?
Oh, my position coach, his name is Coach Wiggins. But recruiting the guy that recruited our area, that's Coach DeMarcus.
Okay. And how did they go about building a relationship with you? Did you have other offers?
Yes, I had other offers actually. Um,
Okay.
the thing is, when they started recruiting me, it's kind of been like a early process. So they kind of like started viewing my tape and talking to Coach Ashley, our head coach, and Coach Drew, my position coach, trying to see who they could get around the school because they're looking for more guys in the DMV area because that's the area they're trying to recruit in more now, especially because they're moving into the CAA next year and they want to become more competitive, in the FCS ball and everything. And I had other offers. I had one from Toledo and Dartmouth as well, but
Okay.
those didn't go out as planned either. So
Okay.
yeah.
Now you said you went to camp in late June,
hmm
didn't commit until a couple of weeks ago. In your mind, or well, tell us, I guess internally, when did you know that say Sacred Heart was the right school for you?
Honestly, it was after the camp and the tour because usually when I dealt with coaches, they would try and recruit me or they'll tell me like, "Hey, come to camp" or whatever, and they'll stay in touch. But they never really like follow up or stay in touch. Or I go to the camp and it's just like I'm just playing a waiting game. But with them, after I went to camp and performed and toured the school, they basically like sat me down and was like they reassured me that the offer was real, it was committable, and that I was somebody that was valued and wanted in their program. So that kind of sold me a bit, and I didn't really want to be in a program where it's like a coach is like selling me like false dreams almost. Like I would rather for them to tell me like if I'm not their guy, like just be straight up. You get what I'm saying? So, but they was just like being completely transparent up front and they just told me that the choice is up to me after that day. And then they talked to my father as well, basically kind of reassured him about everything and my decision making, everything like that. So I sat down with my dad, talked to him about it for a couple of days, and made the phone call, and then just made it, made the verbal commitment.
All right, and you alluded to it, as far as hearing from, different colleges and them telling you different things, trying to figure out what's real and what's not as far
Hmm.
as interest goes. And I can guess that that could be, stressful for anyone, especially young men
Yes.
trying to, you know, get a legit opportunity to play at the next level. How are you able to, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but handle that situation, handle that stress? Like, who did you talk with, or who talked with you as far as trying to give you advice and guidance as far as helping you navigate this process of being recruited
Um.
and trying to earn a scholarship?
Yeah, that's a good question. Honestly, I had a prayer life, so obviously I talked to God a lot. Just praying about different opportunities and asking him to make it clear to me, like if a school is like the best fit for me, just to have like a sense in my spirit that's like, this is the place to be. I also talked to my father a lot, my teammates, and also my coaches too. So, but my teammates really played a big factor because we all kind of like had like a set timeline of when we wanted to like have a decision made, and knowing like how things are because of the transfer portal and everything like that, and opportunities being limited out of high school unless you're like 3, 4, 5 star recruit. It's just like a lot of it was just talking to them and seeing what would be like the overall best decision for me when it comes to making a decision for a school. And all only thing we really said was just like you go to camp, and whoever likes you, you try and push for the offer or whatnot, or you try and push to commit if you can. And if they don't, then you just got to move on to the next. But then we had to do it within a time span too, because eventually all the camps and stuff takes away toll on your body, and we want to focus on the season as well too, because we want to get back to the championship. So having that stress, like it was frustrating for a certain period of time, but I really just wanted to figure out who was being authentic to me, who was being real, and then take the opportunity when it was given. Like once it was there, it's just I just took it.
All
So
right, and you mentioned wanting to get back or win the championship, get back to the championship game. So that'll lead us into talking a little bit about your actually off season, upcoming season. I can guess, but how much of a motivation has it been, since the final whistle blew, all zeros? You guys unfortunately came on the short end of the stick in the championship game. How much of a
yes.
motivation has that been for you and your teammates? And what are some things you guys have talked about as far as the things you have to do to get back to that championship game, and then to seal the deal and win it?
Yeah, well, it was unfortunate that we didn't win it, but we like our returning guys and the rising seniors and everything. We all talked, and we basically want to build off the momentum we built last year, to get back there. And it all starts in the weight room. Ever since we got back in the weight room in the off season, we just been at it. We just been grinding, going at it. If guys needed to recover, they took the days to recover. The incoming freshmen that came in early during the spring and towards the summertime, we kind of set the tone for them. And we just been having like a lot of like short meetings and talks about like how to get back to that championship spot. And we really wanted to win it with the seniors because a lot of us we kind of like grew up together. So that's kind of like another motivational factor for us too. Is just like we don't want to end off the same way we did last year going into our last season. So and then we got to do it for those who are injured, those who lost loved ones as well. So it's just like we have a lot of fuel built up right now, and it's just we just got to execute.
All right. And what are some things that you've worked on individually to become a better player or improve as a player?
Well, most definitely getting stronger in the weight room for sure. Because since we have a longer season, probably the longest one I've had since being here, because we have 11 straight games now with no buys. So, and then dealing with injuries and everything with the rest of our teammates, it's just we gotta be durable. So definitely getting stronger in the weight room. And also like understanding the game more and different, route concepts, from receivers, tight ends, or whatnot. So that way, if I know like I have to play, in the slot for a little bit, or if I have to play at the safety position for a little bit, I can understand and read and react quicker, until some of the guys come back from their injuries, or unless we have to adjust our defense or something like that. So really, just taking a lot of mental notes, and just getting stronger in the weight room.
And I was going to ask that was one of my other questions too. I know you play cornerback.
hmm
What other positions will you be playing? To help your team, or do you
I
think you'll be lining up
probably
at?
I probably end up playing a little bit of nickel as well,
Okay,
because that's something that my coaches and other coaches has been kind of keying me as and seeing me as a little bit, as far as like how tall I am and like my weight and stuff, but also because simply because I want to get more involved with like the run game too. So
okay.
probably moving back and forth between playing outside corner and nickel as well.
All right. Now it just came to me. You go to St. Vincent Pallotti as a private
Mhm.
school. If you don't mind me asking, what's the reason, or what are some reasons why you decided to attend St. Vincent Pallotti? Because there's a lot of private schools in close
Yeah.
proximity down there. So I'm always, curious as to why kids choose certain schools.
hmm but really it was, I have a twin sister, so I wanted to do what was convenient enough for my parents to afford, and somewhere where it wouldn't be too much of a burden on traveling back and forth with me and my sister or whatnot. And really, it was Coach Tony and one of the former staff members that was there that had recruited me since the beginning of my eighth grade year. So, because my first initial school I wanted to go to was Spalding, but
Okay.
I don't know. For some reason, it's just I don't know. I just felt like I didn't really fit in, and I wanted to go somewhere where I knew like I had a solid opportunity to like just get started right away. So when I came to Pilates, that was that did it. And then they kind of told me like the plan they had out for me and everything like that. And then seeing the
Mhm.
type of guys that were in front of me too, coming in my freshman year as an eighth grader, it kind of just like sold me to wanting to be around that program. So that's what did it.
And how long have you been a starter for, say, since you've been, I'm sorry, how long have you been a starter since you've been there?
Since the beginning of my sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, what are some things that you've gotten better at, from the time, and you would hope everybody gets better from their freshman year to going into the senior year. So,
Right.
what are some things that or you learn, starting from your freshman year up until the day?
Definitely my coverage skills and learning, different techniques, especially like in the man coverage game as well, because I was always a type of guy to run zone out of, youth ball, middle school, but then coming into high school, I had to like, kind of reset and learn different techniques. So learning how to kick step, peer step, do a patient step, do a catch technique, different things like that. And then learning the different zone concepts we had, we were running as well, so that definitely improved since my freshman year is my man cover skills and also my ball skills as well. So,
All right. And do you plan to enroll early once
oh
you?
yes, yes, I am.
Okay. All right. And last question, you can expand on this however you like.
Mhm.
Who've been some of the biggest influences in your football journey so far?
Well, I would definitely say my father because he's been coaching me since I was 5 years old, ever since I started playing football. So he was like my biggest inspiration growing up playing ball. And he's just been motivating me and training me ever since I was young. And then he had me training with guys that were older than me in high school at the time. So I just kind of just been around him and his game for a little bit, and then also like my mother too. So as a lot of people know, like she had recently passed away in January, but she's always like supported me and everything like that. And she started to understand the game more, so that way when she comes to my game, she knows what's going on. She would always, film my game, so I get it right away after the game, and just be like my supporter. And then she would like feed into whatever team I was on, whether it's youth ball, middle school ball, high school. She would always like want to contribute to my teammates as well. And it kind of like, because of her too, it kind of brought a brotherhood with me because she made everybody feel like family. And then obviously like my youth coaches and high school coaches, they played a big factor as well as far as my development. So
Well, I am sorry to hear about your mother.
I
Um,
appreciate it. Yeah.
did she used to yell your name from the stands and everything?
You can hear it every game. Like you can hear it in the audio clips. She be the loudest one out of everybody. Like you can hear it. So yeah, that was
That's
her. So yeah.
hey, that's awesome. Well, I can tell you're a fine young man, so I know she's proud of you. Um, well, last question, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
mind. I know I said last question before. I like doing this. It's
Are you
sometimes
good?
things come to me. You got so you end up getting the Sacred Heart offer late, and not late, but a little later.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind, if you have any type of advice for any recruits, like currently, not in your position, but going into their senior year, and all right, at this point, maybe they don't have any offers or any offers they can commit to. What kind of advice can you give to them, or even give to younger prospects that eventually will be going through the recruiting process?
Well, for guys going into their last year, I would say one is just map out your potential options and trying to push, like if you're really serious about playing college football and like moving forward to the next step, really like push, the coaches to, for a response, or to really try and get them to, be upfront with you, because at the end of the day it's your future. So you don't want to be on the short end of not knowing what if or what it could have been. And just to like really just trust the process and just, stay down and just go to work, because a lot of times things don't go our way easily, but the only thing you can control is everything that's around you. So just, put your head down, go to work, perfect your craft and everything like that. And then, the results will show. And then if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, then, you at least you could say that, you did everything you could to move forward to the next step. And for younger athletes, just um do a lot of research as far as like the recruitment game, understanding, the contact periods, the dead periods, everything like that, and just, trying to develop early, because the earlier you can get on the field, especially as a varsity athlete, the higher your chances would be, going somewhere on a collegiate level, whether it's Division 1, Division 2, or Division 3. So just really just, trusting your coaches, trusting the process, and just going to work.
All right, you heard what Zion told y'all, so and
Yeah.
it's worked for him. So, hey Zion, I truly appreciate you doing this on short notice. I definitely will be following you, keeping tabs on you, and hopefully I see you guys in the championship game later on this year. I wish you the
Yes, sir.
best of luck this upcoming season as well.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
No problem at all. Have a blessed evening.
All right, you too.
Thanks.